Ooh, so juicy. But you know why people gossip? You know the reason why?
Why? It wasn't easy to come to that decision.
Be open-minded to what your friends and family and close
Yeah,
people have to say.
talk to
Exactly,
your
yeah,
friends.
yeah.
Listen, remember what I told you. Whatever I say is facts.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Couple Show. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Justin.
And I'm Esther.
Ooh.
What's wrong with
And
her?
we're back with a part 2. So, in our last episode, we talked about part 1 of advice to make dating in college easier. We referred to an article by Refinery29, written by a lady?
W.D. Morgan.
E.W. Smith.
Oh, I was close.
Close.
Shout out to
Good
you,
try.
E.W. Smith.
We really liked their article. And it's just basically talking about, she's gone through college and she's just explaining, hey, this is what I've learned through my experience in college. And are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, sorry. And this is just advice that I wish other college students knew or going into college students knew when dating in college and being in relationships in college. So in the first part 1, we went over the first 5, which was put yourself first. Some people want to hook up but not date. Ask for what you need. Your education comes first, and don't let your relationship take over your life. So that was the first 5, and today we're going to do part 2 and finish it up with the last 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10, which are pretty juicy. So let's dive right in.
Ooh, so juicy.
Oh my god. Okay, so number 6, the 6th advice to make dating in college easier is that it can be isolating.
It can be isolating.
So what do you guys think about that?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I'm just gonna repeat everything Kelsey says tonight.
Well, for this one, it's just like when you start dating someone, maybe you might be isolated from your friends because especially in the beginning stages of any relationship, I feel like it's very common for people to be very attached to their partner and want to do everything with their partner. They're like in the lovey-dovey stages. So you just want to be with them like every day. So that's one way that you could be isolated from like your friends. And I think your friends can really feel
Ooh.
that. Ooh.
I heard that.
You don't have the headphones on, but like it sounds like ASMR.
Well, I'll do. Not today. It's not working.
But yeah, I think for your friends, they can definitely feel it more than you do when you're with someone, right?
Yeah, so it's good or bad? Is isolation good or bad? What do you think?
I feel like generally it's more towards the negative.
What do you think, Esther?
I think the same thing.
Yeah.
Because being in a relationship with someone is so much fun, and plus being in college, as I said before, there's you have so much time on your hands. Class is 2 hours a day, and then the rest of the time you're studying or hanging out with friends. And usually, if you're in a relationship, you tend to hang out with your significant other.
Yeah.
And if you kind of keep doing that thing, then once you ever break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend, then you kind of realize what you've lost in that sense. You can definitely become more distant from your friends and stuff like that. So it's good to find a good balance.
Yeah.
Between that, and I would suggest bringing your significant other to when you're hanging out with your friends, if they say yes, and hanging out all together, or do the same thing for your significant other. So in the end, everyone can become friends, and no one could be isolated.
Yeah, that's a good thing to just do activities all together, and then make your partner a part of your friend group too. It's a good way to include everyone.
Yeah, it's a really good way. All right.
Me, I'm included.
Yes.
That was with us because Justin and I started dating after my senior years of high school, and Justin started dating me his junior year of high school. But all of us had the same friends and mutual friends, so we just all kind of hung out together, which was kind of easy. But if you have someone who is a stranger to your friends, I think a good way is to just like bring them in, just be really friendly.
Yeah. What's so funny?
Okay, so shall we move on to the next?
Yes.
Okay, so the seventh advice to make dating in college easier is to know that people will gossip.
Yeah, people will gossip. Those people.
Those big mouth people. Some people have big mouths, and you just have to know that it's out of your control.
Did you know I had bunny ears up on your screen the whole time?
He was doing
Is that why you were laughing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
so
like, why are
funny.
you laughing at me?
Because you're just making a weird face.
Oh.
She didn't know.
Oh.
I didn't know.
If you're watching on, if you're listening through a podcast app, like he put bunny ears on Esther the entire time.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah, those big mouth people.
No, it's happened. I
well-
can definitely say it's happened to me.
Would you like to say something? You were breathing.
we should go with
Address the haters and the gossipers out there.
I mean, everyone gossips. It's okay. It's part of life. You know, people gossip until, even 40, 50-year-old people still gossip. It's okay.
But you know why people gossip? You know the reason why?
Why?
Like the psychology
Why?
of why people gossip
Why?
is because
Yeah, what's the psychology
no, like
behind
people
it?
people start gossiping when they have things that they've always wanted but they haven't achieved. So like let's say like for example, right, this person got a really nice car, right? And you start gossiping. It's not a bad thing. It's just something that you're sort of envy of, and naturally like your brain just inhibits it naturally in
wants
some
to
sort of
talk
way.
about it more?
Yeah, so I mean there's other people who say it explicitly, and there's some people that just keep it into their thoughts. And for me, I just keep it into my thoughts. But I'm very blunt, I'd be up in your face and be like, ew. But like that's the psychological reason of why
Ew.
why people do gossip.
Good one.
But some people take it to an extent because there are some people who are more insecure about themselves than others. And so the people who gossip are pretty much, okay, I'm just saying in general, are the ones who are not as, what do you call it? Like,
Secure.
not as secure about
Or
themselves.
they're more insecure about
Yeah, they're
themselves?
insecure about themselves in a lot of different ways. And the way that they mentally go through it is just gossiping and saying, oh my gosh, she's ugly. But in actuality, that's what she wants or he wants. You know what I mean? So it's just a mental thing. But if you understand that, you really understand it's not really gossip. It's actually a compliment in some sort of way, because then some person is actually
Is it like a coping mechanism for
yeah,
that
it's like a
person?
couple, right, Esther? Do you know?
Yeah.
Well, Esther,
Okay.
you've studied psychology.
Oh yeah, we should ask the psychology
what?
major.
I am.
What do you think about?
I mean, I think it's true. It's like basically they're trying to get something they can't have, and obviously, like that's how they express themselves in a way. And like obviously, like jealousy is a huge part of it, as Justin says. And I think the best thing to figure out is just like yeah, people are gonna gossip, but the best thing for you to do is for it not to affect you and your relationship.
Yeah, they're just trying to bring you down. So like you really, if you gossip about somebody and you realize you do, I consider yourself not an action taker. So like if you talk about other people, about their life, and you're not really worried about your own life, then you got to change your perspective and really focus on your life, because who cares why are you wasting your own personal precious time about someone else when in those times you should be improving on your own life, right? So I think if people can understand that instead of gossiping, you just take that as motivation, it really does help you to try and achieve something better. Because like I could say, who's somebody rich?
Elon Musk.
I'd be like, oh, Elon Musk, he has so much money. He doesn't pay any taxes. Or like,
Yeah, just anything like
Yeah.
if someone has a
Oh,
lot.
his cars,
in
ugly
my-
cars.
Yeah, his cars, but like in
His house is too
actuality,
big.
yeah, right. In actuality, though, those are just coping mechanisms
Mechanism.
Mechanisms.
that you haven't achieved that, but you want it really badly. But if you can manifest it into something else, as in like,
Oh, look at you manifest.
yeah, like if you can take it as like, I want to be just like him, or something that,
Like, oh, they're cute. Like if you
What?
look at another relationship.
Yeah.
okay,
you're
I'm
jealous
talking
of
about Elon Musk.
Okay, okay.
Elon
I'm just,
Musk
like,
is cute.
Example wise, it's just
Okay,
getting
I don't
it
know
out,
if
right?
Elon
You get
Musk
it
is
right.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just saying that that's a lot of what gossips come from, and so, if you do get a lot of gossip, just know that hey, you might be doing something correct. You know that's why they always say, like celebrities always say, "I love my haters," because haters want to be you,
Yeah.
right? They want to be me, but you can't be me. So like, so what? You know what I mean? Okay, sorry. I just
But that's also giving like attention to yourself. Like I think that's why celebrities are like haters make what is it like?
well,
Haters
they make
me
them
feel
money
good.
because every time they post about something that's controversial,
Controversial.
people
Virtual.
can't talk today. People do like start commenting and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger. That's
Yeah.
why I don't know if you guys know, but when Elon Musk did the Cybertruck launch, did you guys know he said that the Cybertruck is bulletproof, right? But the glass actually broke. So like there was such big media about that, right? And people say he intentionally did that, and then the stocks of Tesla rose like 5-10% because everyone got such a big news because it was on every news channel and everything. Okay.
Why are we
this-
talking about Elon Musk?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
An
she said Elon Musk,
well,
and now
an
I'm talking about
example
business. So
became-
Yeah. Example became another lecture from Justin.
yeah, from Dr. Lee.
Yeah, but
Don't say that.
that that was number 7 that people might gossip, and that's very very much true.
And it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't take it personally. Number 8 is that it's okay to break up with your high school significant other. Ooh. Like it's okay. Let
It's
it go.
alright.
It is okay. Sometimes relationships, there's so many reasons why people get into relationships, and it's just like, you do you. I mean, like if you're gonna if you're gonna change your life and you want a new cycle of your life, maybe it is time to just, go ahead and let go of your boyfriend or girlfriend and go on with another chapter in your life.
Yeah, and maybe that other person isn't on the same journey as you.
Yeah.
Like they might need to go this way and you might need to go straight forward, you know?
It's just,
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it happened to me. So, I mean, I did it for a reason of like, I wanted to go to Vanderbilt with a new, a clean slate, as Kelsey was saying. I mean, it wasn't easy to come to that decision of breaking up. But at the same time, it's like you have to, in the end, like you do what's best for you. And obviously, what I thought was best for me is to go to Vanderbilt and start a new life, meet new people, and because like if you have something back at home, kind of like taking you back, it's kind of like hindering of that process, in my opinion. And going in with the clean slate would definitely help me, and I like met some like friends that I still am friends with since freshman year, which is great. And it's like okay to do that. I mean, but it's like all up to like you and your significant other, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a really tough decision, but in the end, like, you have to do what you really want. You don't want anything to hold you back.
Yeah, prioritize yourself.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, and-
ultimately it's you're a part of
Your
that
life.
relationship.
But be respectful when
And
you're doing that.
communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be respectful.
yeah, always communicate, because I know some people will take it in the wrong direction.
you're
Like,
like,
oh my God, you hate me? Or like, did I do something wrong? Or like, so it's always good to like
Sit
tell
down
them
with
up
them
front.
and
Yeah.
be really, really honest.
Yeah, it's a valid reason.
Yeah.
It's a valid reason.
But like, if you knew, don't get into another relationship, because like you want another relationship. Like, if you're gonna go in a clean slate, then clean it up and then start your new chapter,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
figure out what you're gonna do.
Yeah, settle things first.
Yeah.
But
And I think-
definitely be respectful to your past relationship when going in with a clean slate. It's like, obviously it's not easy to like see like dating like 2 weeks into being in school, it's like not fair. In a way, in my opinion, it's like you are not in a relationship for a reason, so make that excuse valid for yourself and your relationship.
Yeah, like do something for yourself instead of somebody else.
Yeah.
Just go in with intention of improving the next couple years of your life
Yeah.
and not going backwards in your life, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. That was nice. Okay.
What are we on? Number 9 or 8?
We're on number 9 now.
Oh.
Which is the ninth advice to make dating in college easier is that know that abuse might not look like you think it will. So this is a different kind of, we took a turn towards like knowing that if you're in a relationship and it might not be a healthy one, that abuse can come in many different forms and you may not even realize it. You may not even realize that you've been like in an unhealthy relationship.
Well, I think in the perspective of if you're going to parties every day or every week and your significant other loves to party in some sort of way, that can really hinder the way that you can think of it as a relationship. Is it really your relationship, or are they just trying to have some fun, right? Are they just trying to take advantage of you? Are they trying to, do things to you that you really didn't sign up for, right? So I think there are a lot of ways that abuse really comes when you're in college.
Yeah, especially when you're on campus or not at home, you're not with your parents anymore. Like you're genuinely living a life by yourself without your parents be like, come home by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, and this is a totally different perspective. It's nice to have Esther in this podcast episode with us because you're on an on-campus situation. Like you've experienced that, but we haven't experienced that on-campus thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like, just like I'm away from my parents, my like friends here from high school, like from like, everything else that I have access to here is you don't have it in college. And obviously like, that's why like, abuse does happen in college. I've seen it like there's high numbers of cases where like it does happen. We get like an email like, like at least like once or twice a week saying a sexual assault has happened on campus, So like there's like it's because people have access to the freedom that they don't have at home. It's like reason why these things might happen. And
they feel like they are on top of the world,
yeah, they
right?
they are in control of
Yeah.
what of their lives at this point. So like like an example of like abuse that could be seen in college is like emotional abuse, which is like a big thing everywhere. So it's like there's so many factors that go into it. Like there's a party, right? And obviously like if you're like under the influence of alcohol or anything, it could hinder your inhibitions to do certain things the correct way, or like any decisions at all. So you have to be sure, like an abuse is like pretending like your boyfriend's using alcohol as an excuse to make mistakes, right? Or
That's
your girlfriend. Yeah, if they keep making like the same mistakes by drinking all the time and stuff like that at parties, and make it like pretend that they like kissed a girl at a party that wasn't his girlfriend. See, if he consistently does that and uses alcohol as an excuse, I see that as abuse. So obviously the girlfriend's gonna be, oh, it's okay, like you're drunk, it's fine. But in reality, like he's using that as an excuse to keep the relationship and get what he wants at the same time.
And that's how you don't even know, because you love that person so much. Your love might be like covering you from realizing the truth.
And I do think abuse really does come with a lot of the stuff that you do in college, because one, you go to class and then you're bored. So when you're bored, there's dumb things that do happen when you're bored. You know what I mean? You do dumb things. There's also all the stuff that you take right in college, like different drugs or
You're
alcohol.
accessible to.
Yeah, things that you have never were able to do when you were with your parents, but now when you're out on your own self, you have your own in your head. As a man, I guess, in my perspective, I feel like I'm free and I get to do whatever I want. And even like 2 years before, I would have thought myself as like, I'm on top of the world. No one's going to stop me from doing what I want to do. You know what I mean? So like, if you don't take that into consideration of a partner, there could be side effects that whatever you do might be too much for the partner.
Yeah.
And I mean, it could hurt somebody, but you wouldn't realize that until it does happen. And then maybe you decide that, hey, I like how that feels. And then that's how people do become, what do you call them? Like sex offenders, or because they get a taste of something that they've been have done and they loved it, and then they pursue it on. So like you just have to be careful because everyone has a different path in college. There's people who like to study and they want to finish first. There's people who want to party and just have fun. There's people who just are there because their parents have forced them to go, and so their option is to just what the heck, whatever, I'll just do whatever I want. So I mean, you really have to understand the person and what relationship you're going in, because it's like taking a stranger into your house and then knowing them, which is like
an analogy. He always does analogies.
Yeah, it's actually, if you think about it, it's really scary. Like, I mean, even if you hook up, right? How do you know?
It's such a culture nowadays, hookup culture.
It's like, how do you know who you are without like knowing that person? Like, that person could have a very clean room, can be very respectful for you, but how do you know what type of person that is until you get to know them for at least an hour or two? You know what I mean? Which is so crazy to me. And then people are just like, whatever, I'm gonna hook up, and then they get hooked on that person because they loved, the person, and then now they're stuck with that person, right? So that you get yourself into big trouble because you really didn't pre-qualify that person.
Yeah, and I also think what we kind of mentioned, we tried to make an episode on this. It was codependency, and so what we've learned through having a little bit of research for that failed episode was that abuse can also come in the form of codependency, and the term codependency comes out from substance abuse in a way that, like, someone, just like alcohol, you're hooked onto alcohol, and for example, I might be with Justin, right? I'm dating Justin, but Justin has access to alcohol, and he can purchase it for me. He offers me shelter. He offers me food and alcohol, which I need in my life, right? For example. So I'm codependent now on him to offer me these things, but I'm not with him for the love. I'm not there for the relationship. I'm there for the relationship with the substances and the things that he can provide for me, right? So the codependency is another form of abuse in a relationship that you can find in college relationships and dating as well, that you might not even notice.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really know why you're getting into a relationship. Is it for their money? Is it for their status? If it's for those type of things, your relationship will fail.
Maybe you need to reconsider.
Yeah, like, I don't think that's... Would you date somebody for their money? I don't know. That I'm not gonna say if that's right or wrong, because there are people who do that. But is that really true love? No, I don't think so. It's love for the money, not for the person, right? And so, when it comes to things that people want and they can't have, but someone can offer it, they will take an advantage of you for that specific reason. And so I think it's very cautious. You have to be cautious of yourself, because regardless of who you are, you have your own morals, and that person also has their morals. And if you don't understand their morals, you're really in like a tornado. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, like, going off what Kelsey said, and you're saying, like codependency also leads, like, I think people don't realize they're being abused, which is a big thing. Like, if once you're in a place in your head, like you don't think you're being abused, but you actually are, that's also a dangerous spot to be in. But I think, like, when I could tell people, if they think they're in that position, like, just go with how your, like, gut feeling. Like, if there's a moment of doubt you've had with this person, really think about it. Like, don't brush that off, because like, in the end, it could be something that leads to bigger and hurt you a lot more in the end. So
I also think don't be open-minded to what your friends and family and close people have to say.
Talk to your friends.
Yeah,
Some people might be like their friends and family see it because they're on the outside, right? They're outsiders looking in on your relationship, but you don't see it because you're in the relationship, right? But some people are very close-minded. They're like, why are you thinking that? Like, you're not my friend if you're thinking that, right? Kind of in, like, the denial stage. But I say try to be open-minded to the people who are close to you and trying to send you a message, right?
Yeah, that was a very deep
that was
topic. All right, so what's number 10? So my back is killing me now, y'all.
The last,
my knee.
Yeah, so it's a little better if you
Esther, you can stretch.
It's okay, we're almost there. There.
So,
oh, wow, I just got a cramp. Oh.
All right, Number 10, the last piece of advice to make dating in college easier is to know that you don't have to date in college.
Yes, you do not have to.
Yeah.
I think, like, if I think back on it, like, honestly, I have dated in college, which is fine, and, like, I cherish those experiences I've had, but, like, looking back on it, like, you know, like, I didn't have to date in college, for sure, like, you know, like, my friends, like, I had, like, great times with my friends, and, like, you know, those are the people that you actually have constantly good times with. You know, relationship, there can be up and downs, you know, like, could hinder your schoolwork when you break up with someone. Like, obviously, when I broke up with someone, it, like, took a lot of time out of my hands and stuff like that. But, you know, that's why you have your friends, like, and if you just have your friends and you're at a good mindset of, like, what you want to accomplish in college, I don't think you need a relationship at all. But obviously, you know, like, you do meet someone and then you get to know each other, and, like, you know, things happen, obviously, and I think it's okay to date in college too. I think it's a good experience that everyone could have, but it's obviously okay not to, because in the end, you have your friends, you have yourself.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Well, here's what I think. If you're not really wanting to commit to a relationship long term, if that's not your end goal, right? And say, you know, you're a freshman in college, and Esther, you can't dong.
Oh, sorry.
He's really...
Sorry, guys. They probably heard it. Anyways, yeah, because they can, you know, they could be wearing headphones and all of a sudden they're dong.
Should I do
They're
it
gonna
again?
like,
Should I do it again?
no.
Just get a
Anyways,
headphone
Smash
warning.
it.
I don't think so. This is my personal opinion.
Okay.
College is only 4 years, right? And college is an experience that will happen once in your life and will never come back to you ever again. Right? I mean, unless you go to grad school and stuff like that. But even that is not the same as the 4 years of college that you'll be going to. So if you're not going to commit to a long-term relationship, I really do think maybe dating is not for you, and maybe just cherish those 4 years to have fun, because those 4 years will never come back to you ever again. Right? And so, well, for me and Kelsey, we already established that we wanted to go long term, which is why.
Yeah, we established like the night of when he asked if I wanted to be his girlfriend. Like, he pre-qualified. If you missed our story,
He said he brought out a list of like things that he's
questions
qualified
do you want to be long term? Like, I was like, what? But
Yeah, I
we
mean,
established it, like, from
we already had an intention to go forward and through a long chunk of our life, which is why we always worked towards each other's goal and we always came back to each other. But when you have a split mindset of I want to experience college really fun, and then on the side of you you're just like, oh, I want a relationship because I want to be with somebody and stuff like that, I think that's where a lot of people do start to what do you call it, like mess up in their relationship, because then they don't know which one they need to prioritize. And then when they prioritize one thing other than the other, they start to break off and things do start to fall apart.
That's when you need to talk to your partner.
Yeah, so I think, in my opinion, if you're in college to get a degree and you want to cherish those 4 years, because mind you, it's only 4 years, you know what I mean? And that's the only 4 years you'll ever get in your life, right? And say you're in a relationship for 2 years, right? And you never get to meet friends, or you never get to go out, or you get to experience new things, you've already wasted 2 years of your life with somebody else that you're not even going to spend your years with.
Which then I feel like you might not be in a healthy relationship if you're not able to do the things that you want.
Right. So, like, you have to really understand what your priority is. You know, if your priority in college is to find someone, your true love to marry and have kids with, you already know that that's what you're going to cherish on the top of your list, you know? But if you're just there to just, you know, I just want somebody to be with and, like,
Keep me
company, yeah, then maybe you're looking at it in the wrong perspective, you know? Or maybe if your partner is okay with that, then that's a good relationship, right? But I think
it's like harder.
Is that
like,
harder?
Yeah, for me being there, and like I've definitely like seen things, because like obviously like
Some
junior.
water.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yep.
But it's like definitely hard to establish that you want a long-term relationship in college, in my opinion, because
See,
like
this is what we don't know because we're not
yeah,
on campus.
because like honestly, I would never know because like honestly, like after I graduate, I do plan on getting going to graduate school, and if I like do end up dating at the end of my senior year with someone, like that's a conversation I need to have with that person. Like I'll tell the person like, hey, I'm like planning on getting my master's degree at Vanderbilt. And if they're another senior that wants to go back home to back home or go to school like elsewhere besides Nashville, that's a conversation you need to have with them. But it's like it's really hard to establish a long-term relationship in the beginning because like you don't know where you're gonna end up in college. Because like you know, I have friends now, especially being seniors, like they're gonna be back in Korea, they're gonna go to medical school, they're gonna go back home to California. It's like everyone's gonna be all over the place.
But they just don't even know.
Yeah, and some of them are in relationships, right? So that's something that they need to have a conversation with, but that's something like you can't really figure out in the beginning. So like obviously like me being in college, if I did date someone freshman year all the way to now, like yeah, you date a long term and stuff like that, but you don't know. Like you never know what's long term in college. I feel like because everyone's just like constantly moving around. So
do you recommend people having relationships? I feel like so many people would get heartbroken if you keep like having that in the tip of your head. You know that next year I have to leave, right? But you're afraid to tell your partner. I mean, I feel like it's so heartbreaking.
I have like a cheesy thing in my head. So if I did
cheesy thing,
yeah, like
what is she talking about?
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Huh?
Yeah, in my head. Like if even though like I go somewhere else and my significant other pretend my significant other is a junior who has another year in college. If it's meant to be, like we'll still be together. If it's not, like it doesn't happen, it's okay. You know.
So you leave it to fate, basically.
Kind of, cause like you never know what's gonna happen. You know, cause like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. Like yeah, if like who knows, I might not get into my master's program. Like who knows what I'm gonna end up next. So like it's like definitely like a lot of questions or a lot of like things you just have to like live through in college to know what's happening. Because you might not know like the week before about what's going to go on with your relationship. So I think it is good to experience that, in my opinion. It's good to have more experiences and less with like relationships. And college that definitely teaches you a lot about relationships. Because like when I dated in high school, you know, we went to the same school every like pretty much every day. And like when you hang out, you go to like a movie or something. You don't really do much besides movie and food. But college,
you're kind of limited.
Yeah, in college you're actually doing stuff together. Like you might live together, you might sleep over, you might like
travel.
Yeah, you might travel together. You're actually doing things like as like a lot of couples do besides like comparing it to high school. Like you're open, you have access to more things. So obviously you don't know. So I think it's okay to experience that. I think it's a good thing to experience all those different things that you get in college that you don't in high school. So
yeah, and sometimes I agree to that, and I do agree with what I said too. I mean, there's so many perspectives you can see it as.
You're valid, but
like,
I'm
better.
valid.
Listen, remember what I told you. Whatever I say is facts. So, from Dr. Lee.
To a grain of salt.
Yeah, but it's very interesting because relationship is like, I think in terms of a human being, it is very necessary to have a relationship. It's just one of those things.
Beings.
Yeah, it's just one of those things as a human being is a trait in you to reproduce. That is your main reason to live.
I mean, that is true. It is true.
No, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
All mammals,
sorry.
People are created to procreate.
right.
So.
So in that sense, right, it is important to have a feeling of love and being affectionate and having those feelings, emotional feelings, because that's what humans are, right? And so in some terms, if you don't want the negative effects, don't date. But like if you want to experience and really like immerse yourself in like try new things that you've never done, I think it's a great way to do it in college because like,
and you'll realize a lot about yourself.
Be open-minded to the ups and downs.
Yeah, so like don't be afraid, first off, right? Don't be afraid that you've never dated anyone because doesn't matter.
It's okay to date 0. It's okay to date 20.
Yeah.
Who cares? Because like, you know, every relationship you're gonna get something out of it. Because like for me, I learned a lot about myself throughout college. And you know, a lot of people do when they're dating in college. Like, oh, I realize about this about myself, and that's okay, and that's good. And you take that on to your next relationship, and you keep going from there.
So it's like it's like every year you're improving in somewhat,
Some way.
some way, shape, or form, not only for your relationship, but for
Right.
your own self. And so, I see both sides. You know, some people are afraid that like they're gonna be heartbroken and this and that, and maybe you physically or mentally are unstable to the point that you can't take it. You've done it once, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fine. Just wait, find the love that you want.
Take your time.
But just saying, there is no, in my opinion, there is no true love. I think the way you make it really determines if that person is your true love. Like at first, you will never, remember I told you how we did the episode of
Love at first sight.
love at first sight? I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it. Almost cussed. I don't believe
Yeah, we
in that.
talked about the whole like deeper meaning of love at first
Yeah,
sight. I
because
think.
okay, think about this, okay? You lived 30 years of your life, and I lived 30 years of my life, and all of a sudden I meet you and go, oh my God, you're the perfect person. I mean, however perfect your relationship is, in somewhat, there are bad things in your relationship. And you improve those relationships as time goes along to make it your true love, right? But if you don't work towards it, how can you have love at first sight? I don't know, Esther, what do you think?
I mean, I don't know about the whole love at first sight thing, because like if you really think about love at first sight, you look at someone, you're only looking at their physical appearance, right? So like, so that's like,
That's what he said too.
But like,
Yeah.
I think the meaning of love at first sight is to like,
I mean, it's
the moment you look
like-
into their
like-
eyes, you know everything about them.
Yeah, that's a meaning that was sent from, Hollywood. So
Yeah, it's a very misguided
Yeah.
term. That's why we talked about it in our previous beginning episodes. But do you have more to say
So I
on
think
that?
I'm just saying.
Okay.
Regardless of what relationship you have, if it's negative, positive, or just like bland, you can always work it out. I mean, people try to find an scapegoat. I think one thing that men do specifically when you're dating a girl, they'll tell the girl that like, hey, you're not pretty enough, or like I don't have feelings for you anymore, right? There's got to be a reason why it led up to that reason, right?
Esther's on her phone.
I have to. My mom called me 3 times.
Oh, again.
I poo right now. Who's pooping?
My brother.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna continue on.
Okay.
Keep going. Don't mind me.
There's a reason why that person lost feelings for you. And as a relationship, it is your right to work on that and prevent that from happening.
Yeah, it
right?
needs to be told, I think.
Yeah,
It
and
needs to
so-
be told and have a reason why, and you should be open to kind of like working it if you really like that person to work it out, not just be like,
Yeah.
oh, because you're like this, I don't really like it, I don't want to work it out with you, so I'm gonna break up with you, right?
Yeah. So always work things out. And then
Yeah.
I think we're gonna end it on that note because
Yeah.
how long has this?
This is going almost 30 minutes.
Oh, you can
but,
see it from here.
I think so. It's like almost.
I think it's like
or
40
I think
minutes.
It's like 30 or something. But yeah, that wraps up part 2 of this, and I think for number 10, this you don't have to date in college.
It's all up to you.
It's all up to you, and
Yes.
don't feel pressured. Something I was trying to budge in to say is I feel like there's a whole pressure on it
Yeah,
in college
don't be
to
at
do
all.
that. Don't think about that, but
Just be you.
do you.
I have plenty of friends who haven't dated and they're perfectly
Yeah.
happy.
But
so.
there is a thing of pressure,
Yeah,
isn't there?
but just don't give into it. Just be your own person in the end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that wraps up our part 2. We went over.
If you stayed to
60
this
times.
long, props to you.
I'll give you $1.
I'll give you $1. Actually, no, I won't say that because I will actually give you guys $1 if I say that. So,
So,
with that being said,
yeah.
thank you so much for watching. If you want Esther back on another video,
Give it a thumbs up.
give it a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Make sure you put it on the comments that be like, Esther, Esther, Esther.
Yeah.
Write it 3 times so I know you guys watched it to this
Stop
time.
it there, Justin. Stop
Esther,
it there.
Esther, Esther, with an exclamation mark, and I'll make sure she'll be on the next one, guys.
Yeah, we'll try to get more guest
And
speakers.
I think
this was fun.
it was good that you have a different perspective from
Yeah,
us,
it was really good.
and like it's good to always have different
course.
different perspectives
Yeah.
of how we think and how other people think.
And Esther was our first guest, so woo woo.
So maybe Esther, maybe we should bring your brother
A rising
He's
ninth
a
grader.
ninth grader. See what he thinks. Wouldn't that be
Yeah,
interesting?
So interesting.
What's love?
Yeah, what is love, Andrew?
Okay,
Okay.
but that's it for this episode.
She
Make
really
sure
did the
Follow
Make
them on
sure-
TikTok.
yeah,
Oh.
TikTok,
Instagram.
Instagram at the Unfiltered Couple Show.
If you guys want to know if you want to follow Esther, what's your shout them out?
Shout what out.
at
You're
Esther
at-
underscore Park 15.
There you go, she
Because I had to
knows.
put it at the beginning, so it's at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And I'll also link it down in the description box below. But yeah, follow us on TikTok, Instagram at the Unfiltered Couple Show, and also subscribe to our channel, to our YouTube channel, and we'll be posting every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yes.
Do it.
See you in the
And
next one.
I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Adios, amigas and amiguis.